Welcome to Tyrannosaurus Riffs. My name is Brandon, and today we're going to shoot out a couple EVH 5150 EL34s. Alright, what's going on everyone? I hope you're all doing well. I'm very excited to shoot out the EL34s. If you've been with me for this past year, you know that my very first amplifier video was on the stealth versions of these. Now, it's been almost a year since I did that video, and I'm still getting eaten alive in the comments for some things I said and some things I did. So let me tell you what those are. We're going to clear those up. One thing I did, being my very first amplifier video, I left this microphone on. I thought it would be cool to give everyone a little bit of the room effect so you know what it sounded like in an actual room, the way you'll probably hear it. That was not smart, so I don't do that anymore. Lesson learned. The other thing I said that I really seem to bother some people with, and there's no intention to that. I still don't believe I said it wrong. It's just how you decide to interpret it. Now, I had every knob on both amplifiers set to noon, okay? I said these are in the exact same positions, which technically they were according to the lines on the knobs. But technically speaking, this amplifier and this amplifier do have different sweeps, being that this one is scaled down from 100 watts to 50 watts. So the pots are going to do something a little bit different. So even though this one's at noon, if you're trying to match it, doesn't mean this one's going to be at noon, okay? The positions could be a little bit different. So if you didn't know that before, now you know. And yeah, so just because they're the exact same positions with the lines and the knobs, doesn't mean the pots are reacting the exact same way, given the scaling down in size and all of that. Different sweeps, different values. Know that ahead. Anyways, these are my favorite kind of videos to do. I really enjoy doing comparisons with similar items, whether it be amps or speakers, you know, whatever the case may be. I like comparisons, and I like going back and getting to listen without playing and hearing the differences. So that's what I'm doing today. This amplifier, as of today, costs $1,449, I believe, before taxes, and this one is $2,599. So is it worth an extra $1,150? That's up to you to decide, but I'm going to show you some samples and some differences that are going on with these amplifiers. Now, the main differences with the 50 and the EL34, your channel 1 and 2 on the 50 have a shared low, mid, high. Now, the gain and volume do have dual concentric pots, so you can see here they're stacked on top of each other. They can react the way that you want them to or need them to, but you do have a shared band EQ here. The channel 3 has its own EQ section completely, and the 50 watt has one presence and one resonance knob that is on the back of the amplifier, and it is currently set at noon. Now, on the 100 watt, all separate EQs, everything's on its own, and you have 3 presence on the front and 3 resonance on the back. The resonance on the back for channel 1's in the 1 o'clock position, and channels 2 and 3 are both at noon. Other than that, I don't have a camera back there. Sorry about that. You're just going to have to trust me on that. But let me show you, let's go through the green, blue, and red channels real quick. I've kind of dialed them in as close as I can get them at the moment, and I could probably get them a little bit closer, but time is of the essence today. I want to show you how they sound and what I'm hearing. Now, for the signal chain, we've got this beautiful Schecter Texas Chainsaw Massacre guitar with the Fishman Will Adler pickups. We are using voice 2 because I like the active voicing a little bit better, and we are tuned to drop C. Now, we are running straight into the KHE audio amplifier switcher to be able to have these connected at the same time. Down here on the floor, I've got an air step so I can switch between the amps while playing and show you. Got a cell phone set up so you can see the switching happen in real time and know which amplifier we are on, okay? So, other than that, we're just going straight into my Mesa cab that I'm hearing live in the room, but recording through the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X for a better audio representation on your side. And other than that, sorry for all the blabbering. Let's get started with the green. both sound nice, right? All right, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this green channel. It's probably enough for all of you anyways. Here's my thoughts. I think the 50 watt has a little bit more focus on the low end. At least that's what I'm hearing right now. Where the 100 watt has got more of a mid-range focus. Not necessarily more clarity, because I think they both have the clarity there. Just the mid-range is a little bit different on the 100 watt versus the 50 that is more low end focused, in my opinion. I do think that both green channels on both amplifiers sound really good. I typically like a little bit more low end, so while I do like the mid-range of the 100, I like the low end on clean stuff. So the green on the 50 is just fine for me. I love both of them, but I definitely do lean a little bit more towards low end. And you can see how differently they are EQ'd right here, because the low end on the 100 was dimed, where the low end on the 50 was in the 1 o'clock position. So quite a bit of a difference, I think, but again, that's what I'm hearing right now. So blue channel. This is where things get really interesting, because the blue channel kind of does some funky things. Now on the 50, I've always heard people complain about the blue channel. And while I was never in love with the blue channel on the 50, I didn't buy this amp for the blue channel. I bought it mostly for the red channel. The green channel just happened to be a bonus that I liked. But let me show you how surprised I was on the 50 versus the 100. I'm not going to tell you what I hear, but let's see if you hear it. What did you just hear? Everything I've been seeing and reading online does appear to be true to my ears, and I didn't think it would be that big of a difference, but the blue channel on this one doesn't have, on the 50, does not have as much gain. It's definitely not as tight, where the 100 is, it's got a lot more aggression and definition. It's got more clarity, but let me show you a little bit more so you can kind of hear that. Do you hear that? There's a way around that, besides boosts and overdrives and all that fun extra stuff. We're talking about amplifiers only. Now, I haven't done this myself, obviously. This amplifier is stock. There is a mod. It's literally, I guess you clip one wire. It's a C137 clip. You can just pull the chassis, locate that right spot. I believe you just clip it. I could be wrong. Don't take my word for that. I could find that information for you if you want it. Just let me know down below if you want that info. I will find it for you. But supposedly it's just a clip of a wire. Clean that up real quick. Stick it back in, and you've got a much more tighter and aggressive blue channel on the 50 watt. Now, do I think the blue channel is unusable on the 50? No, not at all. Like I said, I didn't buy the 50 watt for the blue channel, but if I was to use it, I would just use it for something kind of pop punky, maybe a hard rock, but not quite metal type of thing. Something maybe like this. But the 100, make that decision for yourself if you like the blue on the 50 or the 100. Me personally, the 100 wins all day. I don't mind the blue on the 50 watt, but now that I've got the 100 watt and I can hear the difference for myself, that extra aggression, I definitely like that. Now, if you don't need the extra aggression because you've got the red channel coming up, then don't worry about it. 50 is still great. Would I use it for metal? Probably not. The blue channel, probably not. But I do think it's still a usable channel for the right type of music. It will do fine. But let's move on to the red channel. All right, now there's a bit of an Easter egg on the red channel. We're gonna start at the 100 because I wanna show you this real quick. We're gonna mess with the blue channel gain. Watch what happens. I'm not sure why, but the blue channel's gain messes with the red channel's gain. I don't know if that was intended. It probably was. Howard Kaplan is a really smart dude, and he's the engineer of these amplifiers. But I don't know what the reason for that happening is. For the red channel comparison, we're going to leave the blue channels down all the way. Okay? So now that you know that, let's mess with it. Now you can see that these are set up quite differently. I was trying to get them to sound closer, but now that I've got that gain turned down, they don't sound as close. So I'm going to turn the blue channel gain back up for a second. I really think the whole amplifier, the 50, is just a little bit more low-end focused, and the 100 is more mid-range focused. But let me know for sure what you guys are hearing and what your thoughts are on that. My question to you right now, is this amplifier, the 100, is it worth the extra dough? I had concerns over the 50 watts originally before I'd ever played one a couple of years ago. I never thought a 50 watt would be loud or good enough, so I kind of avoided them for a lot of years. That is a silly mistake, because if you know who Parkway Drive is, they used 50 watt amplifiers for at least a tour, but Luke was using the 50 watt 6L6, the white versions, and he had two of them when they first came out, and they sounded great. So the 50 watt has plenty of power and it can do whatever you need it to do. It's just, you need the extra headroom. I don't know. That's up to you to decide. Most everything's going to be mic'd nowadays anyways. final thoughts on these amplifiers. They're both worth it, whichever one you choose. I am a huge fan of the EVH 5150 line, and the EL34 red channel is my absolute favorite out of any 5150, whether it's PV or EVH. The EL34s are my favorite. I haven't tried the PV 6534, but out of everything else I've tried, this is the sound I like. I really like the thick tones that you get on the red channel. It's very desirable to me. So that's going to do it for this comparison. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned some things. They're quite a bit different than I expected them to be. I thought they'd be a little bit closer in line. They're not worlds apart. You can get either of them to do what you need them to do. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. I do appreciate everyone's time. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.
Fetch me their soul!